What up, YouTube? Pink River here, back with more Advanced Wars content. Yeah, get used to this. You're going to see a lot of it. I like this a lot. Sorry. Not sorry. Um, so this is a game that just happened the other day. I specifically wanted to record this because there's a couple things I really wanted to show off in it. But this is another game against Shyneet. It's what most of them are going to be. Let's be real here. I'm playing as Grit. For anyone who doesn't know Advanced Wars, Grit is a ranged specialist. His indirect attacking units gain plus 20% attack. All of his other direct fire units receive minus 20% attack. The sole exception being his infantry. His infantry units are still exactly the same, which is good because infantry is a big part of like early mid game. So it's good that he's not at least weakened there. His indirect units also gain +1 range, and that's what really makes him strong. So Grit is generally considered one of the like top tier COs in Advanced Wars. It's very hard to properly advance on Grit. I'll explain it more once we like get into the game and I really start to show off what Grit can do. But yeah, he's generally considered very, very, very powerful. And I don't know necessarily that Sami has a good matchup against that. But Sami does have a good matchup against literally anyone if she can get to your base. So, yeah, so I'm playing as the pink army. Obviously, I'm pink. Shyneet is going to be the green army. I'm going to skip these first couple turns because it's just building and moving units. It shouldn't be like anything big surprising here. I will say this, I do want to highlight something here on turn 2. Shy goes for an early capture on this city, but I use the same unit to start moving towards this base. It'll decrease the amount of early game funds I have compared to him because he'll be able to. He's capturing, you know, an additional building compared to me. But I still feel it's far more important to have this because if you have this base, you can start building infantry here, which allows you to build out towards the center map. That's actually not what happens, but I still think it's early game. This was more important than this, like these cities here. And then keep an eye on this mech. This mech's really important. So we're just advancing our funds really, like, you know, early game as is normal here. This set of cities right here is really important to me because you can get it with just one infantry. Like, this infantry will cap here, then cap here, then cap here. It'll take 6 turns, obviously, but it means I don't have to dedicate any more infantry to this, so I can start moving other infantry up. This mech, 2 movement, you only need 4 to get here, so it's the most cost effective. You get a stronger unit, and you still get to capture this city. So moving along here, Shy starts capturing his airport earlier. I do not remember if he started with a unit here or if he started a unit here. I think he started a unit here. But he went for that. He went for that earlier than I did. So as you can see, he still hasn't started capping here, so he has to use this other unit. So he capped here, and then he's going to go here. That's a good line as well. I just didn't want to go for it because it would take 2 turns to get from this base to this base. So, or from this city to this city. I built this APC here to... So, Shy's at an advantage here. He already has 2 units rather close to these comm towers. If he were to... He's going to be able to essentially get near them before I can even start capping them. And that means we're going to have to fight over these comm towers. Comm towers are really important to both of these COs because we both have weaker units. Shy has... Well, actually, both of us have weaker direct fire units. Shy has minus 10% to all his direct units. I have minus 20%. So getting these comm towers is actually really important to patch that up. And then obviously, the additional power on our actual powered up units is also really, really strong. So, I make a mistake here. I feel like rather than putting this infantry here, I should have put it in the water. Because it would still allow me to get... it would still allow me to get to this comm tower. But it would mean I couldn't be blocked if he went straight down here with this this infantry, which is almost certainly what he's going to do. The big thing is, though, I now have this this base. He still hasn't captured his. So I can start building out towards this comm tower. And there's not really anything he can do about it. Because you'll see it here. I build my first indirect here. Look at that range. That range is crazy on artillery. So, artilleries are going to be really important for Grit, especially on this map. His artilleries can sit on this city or this city and still cover his HQ. And then this is the other thing. These mountain ranges are huge for Grit. The only thing that can move over mountain ranges are infantry and obviously aerial units. So an artillery that's sitting right here cannot be interacted with like at all from this side of the map. So an artillery that was right here could cover this city, and this comm tower. Or at least sort of like support this comm tower. I don't think it has enough range to... Yeah, it doesn't have enough range to actually cover there. But, so yeah. So, obviously that shouldn't come as a huge surprise. Indirects are Grit's thing. So Shy makes the right play here. He effectively covers this comm tower, and I can't get directly to it. And then he... And then he moves on this comm tower with this this mech in a APC. Now, one of the things I disagree with is I actually think he should have possibly dropped this. Actually, now that I think about it, he should have been able to get this APC here. Yeah, so this APC actually could have moved one space more, and I feel like he should have. He should have moved it here and then immediately dropped the mech here. If he does that, it forces me to not play this artillery right here. This artillery is now out of range of everything, and it's covering this comm tower. So he can't just start taking this comm tower because I have this infantry and this artillery, which will 100% kill this unit here. So I feel like that was just a mistake on his part. The other thing is he builds a recon here, but recons are actually really bad on this map. There's a lot of trees, a lot of forests, and a lot of plains. And recons take a 1 movement penalty on plains and a 2 movement penalty through forest. So as you can see, this recon can't actually even move past this spot, despite the fact that a recon normally has like 8 movement or something like that. You see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? Yeah. So recons are actually very weak on this map. So I feel like this recon was a mistake. Although I think that was just all he could do with his funds. But there is merit to not spending all of your funds on one turn, although I do that a lot. So I build an anti-air here. That's really important because, like I said, with this mountain range, the only thing that can actually interact with my ranged units are aerial units, and now they just can't. This is very good protection right here. And then I start moving to capture in the center here, which is obviously very important because these are going to be the four most contested, or at least realistically on any given game of this map. These will be the most contested cities. This will be how you gain an advantage in war funds. And then I double attack into this specific unit right here because at 1 HP, it's not going to be able to do any actual damage to the rest of my units. It's essentially just going to sit there and do nothing. So that forces him to effectively, essentially, if he wants to try and fight for this comm tower, he has to start taking it with this this infantry, or he can start just attacking my units on it, but then he doesn't get to take it. I'm trying to keep him from taking either of these comm towers. And then I do the little cheeky, I move my infantry 4 spaces here. That allows me to get this infantry essentially into the fray for this this comm tower. So, and it also allows me to advance towards this city. Because again, I'm still trying to get as much war funds as possible. I'm trying to get a funding advantage. And the other thing is, indirect units are actually pretty expensive. So, Grit really needs to keep generating income every turn really well. So he moves this infantry into range with this APC, but doesn't drop it immediately, I don't think. Yeah. So he should have dropped that infantry here. Although it wouldn't have actually I don't think it would have actually helped. Maybe it would. I might be wrong about that. Yeah, it actually would have helped if he had dropped this infantry here. He also moves back. He builds he built a transport copter here, and then moved his infantry back into it, essentially giving up on this comm tower. I think his plan was really to fight for this one and just sort of give this one up, which I'm totally fine with. Now, this recon still cannot move on this artillery. Again, there's just too much movement penalty. So I'm not super worried about that right now. So I moved to take this comm tower and then just essentially fodder off these two infantry. Now, if he had dropped his other infantry here, he actually could have killed this one and made an attack on this one by just putting a unit here, which would have put me at least at a disadvantage. I think I still probably could have taken this comm tower, but it would have been a big struggle. I think that was a big misplay on his part, not dropping his infantry there. So I moved to attack this one again, just to weaken it. But again, if he had dropped his infantry there, I think this one would have been able to kill this one. And then he would have had a 10 HP infantry that could attack mine, which would have dropped me to, I want to say, like 6. 6 or 5. So it would have been really good for him. And then I moved this APC onto this building. That's just to stop him from attempting to take it at all. And also to sort of stop him from being able to move, just to move an infantry over this line, essentially. So I move this artillery back. So this artillery is now essentially super defended. There's not going to be a unit that can get in against it from the top. Anything that attempts to move in here is going to have to take a hit from this artillery. I build a battlecopter, build another artillery. This artillery, the plan for this artillery is not to guard this artillery. It's actually to move in, because he has this APC here, and because he didn't drop it to start trying taking towns, it's more than likely he's going to move it to try and take my base, my HQ, like an early, because I don't have it from last turn. It didn't look like I had it super well defended, but I built this. I I built both of these units essentially to be able to defend this. So he makes an odd play here. So he moves this APC here and then drops his mech here. That keeps it in range of this copter and this infantry. I think his best bet would have been to either drop it here on this forest, which still would have allowed me to attack it with both with this copter, but I deal less damage. Or to drop it directly on the HQ, which again, I still would have had access to it from this infantry and this copter, but it's even more defense. And he could have kept, I feel like he could have kept this unit alive better. So he starts moving this recon in as support, essentially. He keeps it out of my range, and then he's moving it in to support this mech. So he finally drops this infantry. He's essentially just creating a wall here so I can't move in on him until he can build something out of this HQ. He, more than likely, he's going to want to build a tank like he built here, or an anti-air, because the anti-air will just shred most of these little units and also can deal with this battlecopter. So I move this artillery to this city. That covers HQ, so he can't just recklessly attack it. And then I move to start taking the comm tower here. So now I already have one comm tower, so now all of my units are 10% stronger. So my infantry are at 110%, and then my direct units are at 90%, which isn't great, but it's a lot less bad than 80%. And then instead of attacking this mech with this copter, I move to just sort of remove his units from up here. I don't want him getting this comm tower. Him having this comm tower would be very bad for me. And then he made a mistake here. He didn't realize he was in range of this anti-air. So he lost 2 units there. He loaded a mech into that. That was a big misplay on his part. Like, that was actually, like, very bad. I don't know necessarily that like, is game-changing, but to have just lost those funds in general is very bad. And then I moved to start taking cities here instead of attacking this mech. Because I built a rocket right here. Look at this range. Look at the range on this rocket for grit. This is insane. So the reason for that is I am effectively covering this artillery with this rocket. I'm covering this rocket with this artillery, but I'm also covering this city with both. So he can't just like, anything that wants to stop me from capping this city has to die to do it, essentially. But I'm also covering my HQ from here. So I'm not worried about him taking it. The only time I would be worried about him having a unit this close to my HQ right now is if he was at full CO power, which he's not. So he moves to disrupt here. This is a good movement because it keeps him out of range of both of my my ranged units, and it gets me off that city. But it puts him in range of this copter, which is still good for me. So this tank moves to... so I was actually really happy with this turn, with him moving this tank to attack my anti-air, because it blocks his own airport. So, like, he couldn't actually have gotten to this anti-air any other way. If he had been able to, if he had been able to, say, get this tank here, and then build a battlecopter or something right here, that would actually be really bad for me, because at 5 HP, even if with both comm towers, I wouldn't be able to kill the battlecopter, and then he'd be able to kill my anti-air, and then he'd be able to essentially move that battlecopter off and make another battlecopter. Which, again, would have been bad for me, because I I only currently have one anti-air. So he moves this mech to... I assume to threaten my my artillery, but I think realistically he should have just moved back. He should have pulled away. He honestly probably should have just put it in this APC and moved back and started trying taking these cities. So I think this big push to try and take my HQ early was the big turning point. Like, it's not a bad play to try and make as Sami, because that's how you get wins with Sami, is you steal an HQ essentially. You take it early when they're not paying attention. This anti-air getting built here is kind of weird to me, but I also kind of understand it, because it's not really that much farther away than this HQ, because he can't, he doesn't have a way to attack this this battlecopter either way. Even if he built a anti-air here, he would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess maybe he could have. Yeah, I guess he actually could have. Yeah, I think maybe it would have been smarter to build it there. But yeah, he went all in on this play, and as you can see, this artillery just absolutely wrecks that. Like, look at that. He's on a 2 defense panel, and he just went down 90%. And I actually think that was a roll. I think I actually could have one-shot that. But it doesn't matter. I have this infantry in here. So again, I move to capture this base. It's not actually going to happen. He can attack this APC with his mech and then just move around. I could have stopped it, but what I actually wanted to do, what I decided to do here instead, is guard my comm tower. So I'm giving him the option to attack this city and stop me from capping it, specifically so he doesn't move towards this comm tower. A lot of my movements for the next couple turns are based around forcing him to move in certain directions. So I attack this infantry. Again, because Sami is as an infantry specialist, and because Shy's only real win, only possibility for a real win moving forward here is to take my HQ, I'm just doing everything I can to remove his infantry units. His direct attack units, his tanks, his mobile units, and stuff like that, not as big a deal to me. So I move this anti-air back because, again, he's not going to be able to... He's going to have to move... he's going to have to, move this tank, obviously, to build something. So on his next turn, he doesn't have any aerial units, so I have nothing to do with this. Oh, I also didn't show off. I attacked this... I attacked this infantry unit here. That is essentially to force him to attack with this. If this infantry unit had still been alive, at full HP, and I attacked this one instead, I think I could have killed this, but this would have been at 10 HP. And that would have been able to just wipe this immediately. I want to make his attacks worse up here. I move my anti-air. This is still close enough that I can attack his airport, but it's also threatening his infantry units here. And then I move my mech to this side just briefly, because again, it's threatening to attack his it's threatening to attack his infantry. And then I build another rocket. So this is where it's really bad for Shy. So at this point, I have no real weakness on this end of the map. This entire bottom half of the map is being covered by these 4 units here. It's only this airport that's sort of undefended. But each indirect is covering each other. And if I want to, I can move this one off and start building more units out here. But because I'm so well covered, and because he doesn't have a lot, he doesn't have a lot of good movement options through all these trees, I can literally just leave this rocket on this on this base and not build anything out of it, and just start building out of here, here, or here to cover the rest of the weaknesses. I can also slowly start like picking off his units here with my like battlecopters, and then start actually advancing as well. So one of the things with Grit is that it's hard. Like it's generally Grit is generally considered like a turtle CO. Like you just sort of hole up, abuse your range, and destroy anything that tries to move up towards you. But that's actually a bad way to play, because it gives the opponent like time to build up funds and start building units to just sort of like fodder off, or build like high range units to sort of get inside, because ranged units can't attack and move at the same turn. But with how I'm built right now, I can start moving, like slowly moving up these units while defending them with infantry, anti-airs, and battlecopters. So basically what you want is, like, rockets are generally considered bad for Grit because they're so expensive, and he already gets so much range on his artillery. But I actually don't like that line of thought. This rocket right here will be able to cover as I move this this artillery up. And then once the artillery is moved up and it's covering the same range as this rocket, I can start moving the rockets up as well. So I think like an even split of 1-to-1 is actually really good if you can afford it. So he takes the bait, he kills, or no, he doesn't actually take the bait. He kills the, watch, let's move back here. Yo, wait, hold up. Did he just really kill this infantry with one? Hold on. Yo, how did that happen? Hold up. He killed this infantry with... What? What am I missing? Is this a replay glitch? Did he... Nope, that's not a replay glitch. He just one-shot that infantry on a mountain with his own infantry. Dude, Sami's infantry are overpowered. But then, like, he only does 5 to... What? How did that happen? That should not have happened. Was that infantry not at full health? Oh, no, it wasn't. It was at 4. Okay, that's why. There was a visual glitch showing it at 4. Okay. This APC is an odd choice to me. I feel like this should have been another, like... Honestly, this probably should have been another infantry. Or another anti-air. So, this was the mech I mentioned earlier, the one that just... I only built so that I could take this city. This mech ends up becoming really, like, key. So he does make a good play with this artillery here, or with this APC here. It stops me from being able to move this rocket up, which is what I want to do. So that I can further sort of cover more of the map. And then he just basically sacrifices his, one of his units to deal a little bit of damage there. So, this battlecopter is now a big threat over here because I can't kill it immediately with just this anti-air. So, I make a couple plays here. I start recapping this city again, because again, this is going to force him to try and stop me with this recon, which again puts him in an area that can be covered by this artillery. And then I move this mech to this. I move this mech here as opposed to the higher defense panel of the mountain, because I want to stop the movement of this tank. And then I move this anti-air here because, one, it's still sort of like, if he wants to move in to attack this artillery with this battlecopter, it'll be in range. But also I get a 2 HP heal at the start of next turn, and at 7 HP I can do a ton of damage to a battlecopter. And then I move this very weak infantry onto my HQ just to sort of body block. Kill the recon. Now this is going to seem like a weird play because I'm now putting this copter in range of this anti-air. What's going to happen is he's going to kill this APC with this mech, and then this anti-air is going to move down to kill this this copter. And again, that might seem like an odd play, but I promise there's a reason for it. So I can't move this rocket up anymore, so I moved this rocket up. This is to better cover like the tank, the recon, and then I still have a line of sight on this HQ to protect it. I move this APC up just to sort of force this mech off of a mountain if it wants to kill it. Unfortunately, this one infantry was enough to do it, which I did not think was going to happen. So he kills here. Does not start taking the city, which is good for me. His recon moves to kill this infantry, but fails, which is nice for me. If he had this comm tower, it would have worked. And then he has to give up this. This is insane to me. The fact that tank did not kill this mech. This mech put in so much work. So, bam, 1 HP. So now this battlecopter can't really deal much damage. Neither of these can anymore at 1 HP. So I'm pretty safe to just sort of leave them be. I destroy that recon with just this artillery. Like, again, I have plus 140% on indirects. Indirects are so strong right now. So at this point, I'm just sort of building up my my CO power. This is sort of a dangerous move, but I do it on purpose. He has his little CO power, which gives his infantry +1 movement. So if he wanted to, and a lot of power. So if he wanted to, he could use his double time and move this mech to attack this this artillery. But I don't think he's going to do that because it's sort of a wasted movement otherwise. He doesn't gain anything else out of it. And he's so close to his CO superpower that I think he's going to want to do that instead. And then here I start, like, here I do move the rocket up. And then I attack this APC just to get it out of the way. So this is an interesting play here. This is a play I really want to talk about. I have a battlecopter in range of this anti-air. But the only way for him to get it is to move this mech over to kill this infantry and then move over here. Now, this might seem like a weird play, but I promise this is super important. He's getting very close to his CO superpower. I want to make sure he has nothing in range of my HQ. By doing this, what's going to happen here is I'm moving his mech 2 spaces away, and I'm moving his anti-air all the way over here across the river. He will not be able to interact with my HQ or any of my units over here with this anti-air if I do this. So this is like a no-win situation for him. He either does that play and moves his units away from my HQ, or he ignores it, and I have a tank to cover his anti-air, and then I have another battlecopter just out and ready to move. And then I build extra infantry right here. That might seem like a weird play, but I don't actually need any more anti-air. I don't need any more indirects, and I don't need any more anti-airs. Because I can now, like I said, even if he builds another battlecopter here, I can just move this anti-air back here. It'll gain full HP, and then it's just not full HP, but 9 HP, which is enough to kill any aerial unit. So he does it. He does the play I wanted him to do, which is moves over here and kills this helicopter, this battlecopter. He makes a good play there, which is killing this infantry with that 1 HP copter, because now he can attack this and deal just a little bit of damage to it. But he actually ends up moving back, which I found interesting. Now, this was a weird one to me. He didn't move this... he didn't move this APC, and I kind of get it. I think his play is sort of... hoping to find a position where he can get this APC in, drop off a unit, and then on the next turn, have that unit survive, and then on the next turn just CO superpower. He has to go all in at this point, and it's just... I am too set up. I am too fortified. So I actually popped my superpower here. Which... Like, look at this. Look at this. The entire reason for that is I'm just trying to kill all of his infantry units. So that artillery hit that infantry. This rocket, hold on, let's move this back here. This rocket here killed this infantry. Look how far away that infantry is. The reason for that is because even if he's at even if any of his infantry are at 1 HP, they can start instant capping when he uses his CO superpower. So he'd be able to instant cap this comm tower, instant cap either of these cities, instant cap this city. He'd be able to he'd be able to start generating a lot more funds. See, he's down 2,000 right now, but he'd actually be able to swing that quite a bit. So I just start picking off all his infantry. I end up just moving in on this helicopter rather than taking out this one. The problem is this one survives at 1 HP. I got really annoyed at that. I move this anti-air up because if he wants to move to insta-cap the city, I can at least kill him. And then I have this infantry to start capping it as well. So this is turn 13, I believe, right? Yeah. So he moves all his infantry in towards base, as well as both his anti-airs now. But at this point, like, it really does not matter. I'm too like embedded in here, and he ended up having to just give all these units. I think I think this game could have gone on. I think he could have actually just pulled back and used his superpower to just like I said, instant cap some buildings. He would have been able to take this comm tower, which would have definitely helped him a lot. But I'm so embedded here now that I control basically the full middle of the map. And with that, I can start taking all of the middle map bases or buildings. So I can start just generating more funds that way. And yeah, so I kill off just all of his infantry. And at that point, it's just GG. He sort of had to give up at that point. He's got 3 APCs right here that do nothing. He's got 2 anti-airs and 2 weak units up here. I'm way too ahead. So that's the whole game. I can't rewind. What? I have to... Hello? Okay, let's... Can I... Okay, there we go. So that's the whole game. But again, I kind of want to just talk about certain things, certain moves I made that I feel like these are the kind of things you need to think about when you're like when you play this game. By the way, buy Reboot Camp, please, for the love of God. If you're playing against other people. So big mistakes were this, not dropping his infantry right here. If he had dropped that infantry here, it would have contested this comm tower better. I think I still could have gotten it, but it would have taken a lot longer, which meant I wouldn't have had it for as long. Obviously, this was a big misplay. The battle copter that was just, or not the transport copter that was just in range of this anti-air. That was a huge misplay. And then a lot of the movements, a lot of my movements here I think were really good. A lot of my positioning. Essentially forcing him to engage in losing movements. Like, forcing him to put these infantry here so that they have to die to this artillery. Like, leaving that mech up here to just sort of, like, body block over here. Like, and then the big one is this turn right here. Buying this helicopter, essentially wasting 8,000 to just force him off of this side of the map. And the thing is, like, there's no win. Sorry, there's no win here. Maybe something could be said for just using this anti-air to kill this unit and then keeping this mech inside. But, or actually, like, so, let's say I'm in his position right here. This is going to sound weird, but I think the play is load both of these APCs and then just move both the APCs in. And then just use this anti-air to kill this unit. And then probably like move this infantry here and move this mech here. So the thing about APCs is if they have a unit inside of them and they get destroyed, the unit doesn't die. They just get essentially deployed on that one spot. So he could kill this unit, move these APCs in. I'd be forced to kill the APCs, but I don't know that I'd necessarily be able to kill both infantry units that are inside. And in fact, I'd like move this APC here. Like I'd move this infantry into this APC and move this APC up here. And then I'd move this mech into this APC and I'd like move it over here. To give it the extra defense. Or maybe, I guess realistically you can move it right here since that, nah, it still can be attacked by that. But it would like keep them out of the range of the tank, out of the range of the battlecopter, force me to use my indirects on them. And then what would end up happening there is I'd end up killing his APCs and maybe even one of the infantry. I don't, because I have the anti-air here that can probably do it. This, actually, I'd probably be able to kill both. Who knows? Superpower and all that. But what that would allow him to do is then pop his CO superpower and then immediately insta-cap some cities. I'd actually also probably even... No. Anyway, yeah. That would allow him to instant cap some cities and allow him to take, allow him to essentially step back and start building up units to turtle with. Honestly, even if he was just building, like, APCs and mechs, that would be really good, too. If you can get an APC inside of the range, like, the range of a rocket, like, in these two spaces here, if that's not being covered by something else, like, you can drop a mech, and then they just sort of can't do anything about it. They have to move back, but the range is so limited, and especially if Sami has, like, a power ready, like, you can just blow it away. But yeah, like, those movements, like, those very specific movements to sort of force him into moving units where I wanted them rather where he wanted them, I think that's, like, really what won me the game, and along with he kind of pushed a little too early. But that's just sort of like... That's sort of like Advanced Wars basics, but it's also very, very important that you sort of understand that, especially like if you play this online against other people. But anyway, yeah, this was a good match for me, not for Shy. The next one will be a game that was a very good match for Shy. It just sort of went, like, he made all the right decisions and he just annihilated me. That'll be the one I upload next. But yeah, look out for more Advanced Wars content. I will be, like I said, I will be recording more Lost Kingdoms soon, I promise. Probably tonight, actually, and then I'll start uploading that again next week. But yeah, until then, thanks for watching, guys. This has been Pink Reaper, signing out.